It's your man Jay Graves Report, and welcome to the College Football Weekly Preview, Week 11. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Previewing the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. Now, I know you boys see the surroundings changed around here. Hey, I'm not at the crib, I'm on the road this week, so we about to get it in. Even though I'm on the road, I still got to get it in for you. Now, we got some dud games this weekend, but we got some hot games this weekend. So now, first ball game, we're going to go out to number 21. Memphis goes out to play number 24, Houston. Now, Memphis is 8-1. They was done. They got beat last week by Navy. Got blasted 45-20. But Houston is still undefeated. Here's the problem. Both these duds play in the American Athletic Conference. So nobody cares about these duds. You can't be 9-0. This is what I'm saying. Unless you're in the Power 5 conference, you can't be 9-0 and anybody care. That's why Houston is number 24 in the country. If this was Boise State several years ago, right now the way things have changed, unless you're in a Power 5 conference, you can't get in. So let's not even talk about these duds. Let's move on to the next ball game. I don't care who wins this ball game, but since I gotta pick it, we're gonna go ahead and pick Memphis to upset these boys since they got blasted last weekend against Navy. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, let's go down to the ACC. We got Miami showing up to play number 23, North Carolina. Now, Miami comes into this ball game averaging 28 points a game, putting up 403 a game. But North Carolina is averaging 40 points a game, putting up 495 a game, bruh. Hey, if they win this ball game, they can wrap up the Coastal Division and play for the ACC Championship against Clemson, which they eventually gonna get blasted if they go out there and do that. But Miami comes into this game, they 6-3. They got a lame duck interim coach at this point. So who do you pick to win this ball game? North Carolina playing at the crib. They 8-1. No way did they lose this ball game to old Doug Miami out there. There ain't gonna be no lateral passes and all that old foolishness going on. North Carolina's gonna take care of business, beat these boys. Sebastian gonna get beat up in the parking lot, bro, because he talked too much trash. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, let's go out to the Big Ten. We got Minnesota goes out to play number 9, Iowa. Now, here's the deal. Iowa feeling disrespected right now because Iowa is 9-0. These duns are ranked number 9 in the country. I think it's a travesty that you don't have undefeated teams ahead of one loss Alabama and one loss Notre Dame. Why? Because if the wins and losses don't count, and you playing in a Power 5 conference, if you undefeated, you should be ranked ahead of these boys. But who cares about this ball game? It's Minnesota and freaking Iowa. Iowa end up getting beat, so we're not even worried about it. They won't lose this ball game, but at some point they're gonna get beat. They'll be irrelevant. We're not even gonna trip. So we're gonna pick Iowa win this ball game, but at some point they're gonna get the brakes beat off of them by either Michigan or Ohio State or whoever they got to run into toward the end of the season or even in the Big Ten Championship. Let's keep it real all the way 100, whichever comes first. Now, let's move on to the next ball game. Now, big ball game. We got number 2, Alabama, goes down to Start Vegas to play number 17, Mississippi State. Now, everybody hollers about Start Vegas, Dak Prescott and company, etc. Now, Dak Prescott can throw the ball downfield. The only way you're going to beat Alabama is you ought to be able to throw the ball downfield. Here's the problem. Alabama got the best front 7 in America. They playing better than anybody in the country. These boys come off a huge win last week. Beat LSU 30-16. Held Leonard Fournette to 9 carries, 31 yards, bruh. No way does Mississippi State beat these boys. Not this weekend. Not in Start Vegas. Start Vegas has just gone bankrupt, bro. Bama comes in here and goes to work. Think about this. Derrick Henry put up 210 yards against LSU's defense. So you know he about to go to work on Mississippi State. Now, we don't have to ever talk about Mississippi again. I keep telling you, boys, to stop telling me about Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Russ, Jackson State, Tougaloo, Southern Miss. I don't care. Don't tell me nothing about boys playing football in the state of Mississippi after this weekend. All right? Alabama beats the brakes off these boys and keeps it moving. Now, let's go to the big ball game. We got number 12. Oklahoma goes out to Waco to play undefeated number 8 Baylor Bears. Now, here's the problem. OU comes into this ball game 8-1. They came off a dud loss against Texas. These boys never should have lost that ball game, but it is what it is. They averaging 46 points a game, putting up 549 a game. Baylor on the other side of the ball is averaging 57 points a game, putting up 665 yards a game. But here's the problem. They got a dub freshman quarterback because their quarterback went down. OU has to play the gauntlet. They got to do, look, Oklahoma has Baylor this weekend. Next weekend, they play TCU at the crib. Then they go out to Oklahoma State for Bedlam. They got to win these 3 ball games. At some point, somebody in the Big 12, everybody's going to have a loss because I believe Baylor's going to end up losing this weekend. Oklahoma's going to end up beating Oklahoma State. And all them duns going to be out. Nobody from the Big 12 gets in the doggone national championship hunt because it is what it is. At the end of the season, let me say this. At the end of the season, both Alabama and Notre Dame should get in if Alabama can beat Florida in the SEC championship. See, everybody putting that out there like Alabama's not going to lose by the end of the season, but they still got to play the rest of their season. Now, they got to go out there and play Charleston Southern next week before they play Auburn, then go down to the Atlanta for the SEC championship. They could still lose that ball game if Trayon Harris and company can throw the ball downfield. You heard it first. If you can throw the ball downfield on Alabama, that's how Ohio State beat the brakes off of them because they were able to throw the ball downfield, loosen up that defense, and now you can run all over the place. But if you can't throw the ball downfield, it's going to be dub playing against them boys. It's your man, Jay Graves Report from TheJayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport so you can holler at your boy.